Hello, and welcome to my live broadcast. I'm Lynn Weimar from Be Fit Beyond 50, and I'm just really grateful to be able to talk to you today. And first of all, I'm just going to say thank you so much to everyone who bought my book yesterday and the day before from the Kindle store on Amazon, helping to propel it to number one in several categories, including eating disorders. And I'm really glad for that category because this is a lot of what I talk about and what I help my clients overcome. And this is very relevant for today. The topic that I want to talk about today is our choices. And so many of our choices are so tiny that they just don't seem like any big deal. Just this one little indulgence isn't going to hurt anything, right? And I know that's how I started on my path to addiction that I ended up deeply regretting. But I mean, maybe mine was a little more obvious, but there's so many things that, just in the grand scheme of things, they seem so insignificant, these little choices. It's just one little thought in my case. It's just one little brownie or a piece of candy. I'm just going to have this one little bite, just one cigarette, one little sip of alcohol. Every smoker started with that first cigarette. Every alcoholic started with that first sip. And we just think, what difference is it going to make? And the thing is, those tiny choices add up to big results. And sometimes it is alcoholism. It can be broken families as a result of the addiction. It can be lung cancer. It can be obesity. And it all started somewhere with a tiny little choice. And in the case of obesity in particular, it could have started long before we were even capable of making an intelligent choice for ourselves. But when we see where our tiny little choices are taking us, then sooner or later there comes a time when we have to draw the line and say, okay, enough is enough. And then we may be faced with a huge mountain of consequences that we've already created that now we have to overcome. And then it can seem so overwhelming that it can appear impossible. And those habits and thought patterns can be so ingrained after thousands upon thousands of daily choices, and those choices have become compounded. You've heard about the compound effect. This is it right here. And then we can feel like there is no way out. And we can look at other people's lives, and from the outside, they look so free. Why why do they have it so easy when every single day is such a struggle for me? And we start to wonder, what is it about me? What's wrong with me? And we try to get out of the hole that we've dug for ourselves, and we find that we just can't. And we throw our hands up in the air and admit defeat. And then with that defeat comes so many other D words: despair, depression, despondency. Sometimes it's divorce. Sometimes, it goes on, and they don't have to start with D. Those were just some words that came to mind. But some of us will withdraw into shame and isolation. Some of us put up a happy front and keep going as if we don't have a care in the world. Some of us become angry and bitter and turn to blaming others. And the way that we cope with it all is exactly the same way that we've always coped, by digging ourselves deeper and deeper into that hole of that thing that's got a hold of us. So I have to ask you, are you ready to be free? This is not about your character. It's not about how self-controlled you are. It's not about whether you're a good or bad person. Every single one of us can get caught in a web of addiction by our own choices. I used to think I was pretty self-controlled. I used to think I had it together pretty well until I had an addiction that I could not get myself out of. And I had to reach out for help. And that was the best decision I ever made, because I couldn't get out by myself. And I would like to encourage you, if that sounds like you, click on the link. I actually put the link in before I started the live. I'm learning. I have a masterclass, 5 simple shifts to eliminate emotional eating. And you might say, well, what does emotional eating have to do with addiction? But I can tell you it has everything to do with addiction. And you don't have to identify your difficulty that you're facing as emotional eating in order to find value in just the teachings that I've presented in this masterclass. So I hope that you'll click on that link and watch the masterclass. And also, I've got a link to my book, and I would just love it if you wanted to pick that up. I keep saying I'm going to put the price up, and I am going to put the price up a little bit. But as far as I know, right now, it's still at 99 cents. And so I really appreciate everybody's support again in helping me to get to number 1 for even just a few days. That's awesome, because it really helps bring the struggles that women over 50 have into a little tiny bit of limelight right there. And I am just passionate about helping women over 50 live their best life, because it really is not too late to change your life and start living your best life right now, no matter how deep of a hole you feel like you have dug yourself into, or how hopeless you feel like you are. There is hope and there is help. And that's what I'm here for. All right. Take care. Thanks for joining me. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.